ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another One Piece manga review. I got the crew with me, Jazz to my left and Versen to the right. Hold on, let me change our names. I should have did that in the beginning. I'm going to change our names to our Twitter names so y'all can follow us. All right, got mine. It's I know Versen's, and I know Jazz's as well. It's at Versen the Vassal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you spell Vassal? Vassel?
A-L. You're thinking of vessel.
Oh, Vassal. You right?
Yeah.
Vassal. And then I'm pretty sure I know Jazz is at Real Jazz JAZXY.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There we go. So y'all go follow us at our Twitter names. Before we get started, I gotta showcase the latest figure to the gang, Eustace Captain Kidd. Oh, I love this figure. Like, he's so jacked. Like, look at him compared to Sabo. Like, Sabo is a skinny boy. Like, This dude, look at them chest muscles, bro. Like, when I saw this, I was like, oh, I gotta get it. Is Eustace the most jacked person in One Piece? Like, in terms of, like, captains?
Hey,
out of the my boy Rouge handle, yeah.
Oh yeah, Rouge, but Rouge right is like a giant.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Dude. That's true.
Like
that's
Kaido wasn't jacked. He was just huge.
That's true. Body mass
like,
and shit like that.
Like Kid and Killer are fucking ripped.
Especially with the weird fucking necks they gave them post time skip, where you're totally hinged and you look like a fishman. Almost.
Look, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Look at them damn traps. Like, dude's fucking yoked, bro. Like, Law is tiny. Like, Sanji, like, maybe the only person that compares to Zoro. Like, because he works out.
Even then, I don't know.
Yeah, man. Oof.
Yeah,
crazy.
They gave Killer a lot of free muscle mass too. Like, just
on the back of the back of the box, there's like a set of the Killer and Kid from Wano. I gotta get the Killer because he looks bad ass. Like, I am so into figures right now. Let me let y'all know the Lafayette Anime and Game Store next to Walmart on Ambassador. Bro, so much good stuff. Like, if I could show y'all the poster. No. Anubis is on Johnson. This is on Ambassador. Okay. Like, you're going, like, right before you get to Wingstop on that by that Walmart. It's Wendy's, Walmart's right after the Hooters, right after the bowling alley. It's in
that little shopping district where the Golden Corral is at.
Yep. There's an anime store in there.
The only ones I know about, like, for like a local game stores and anime and stuff, is Sword and Board / Play and Trade, Anubis, which moved in from Broussard. I like them a decent amount. And then Ambooks 2, which, as we know, is closing shop because the guy's retiring. So
so y'all gotta support this guy. The Cowboy Bebop poster I have that I bought is fucking pristine. It looks so good. I'm going back on the next payday and I'm going clear them out because they have so many Jujutsu Kaisen figures, like the Gojos. They have a Toji. I was like, what? I didn't know they even made that.
Fire.
Like, that is gas. Shit, so
let me know when you go. They got anonymity because I might need that anonymity.
I'll let you know because when I'm going, they're getting in Spike Spiegel's ship, the Swordfish. So I gotta go get that. Like, that is. If anybody out there, if you love this channel, we don't ask y'all for anything, but if you come across a Vash the Stampede figure or a Wolfwood figure and you want to bless me, I would not be opposed. My address, I will give it to you if you got it. I'm not gonna give it before because I don't want people to. I just realized I can't just give my address out on YouTube. Yeah. I was this close to. So if you want to join the Discord, and I'll give you my address to mail it. Maybe I should get us a PO box for things like that. Like, get the network a PO box and people can send stuff to whoever, and I'll just let y'all know what goes in the PO box.
And if you do, you can do like a mailbag video.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're gonna start that. I'm gonna get on that this week, and we'll do the PO box specifically for this group to have like One Piece questions, but they can do mailbags for any shows. Speaking of, we have a video. By the time you guys hear this, it'll be out. It was supposed to drop last week, but I had to get the editing right because we did it in person, which, by the way, when us three get together in person, it's a good vibe. Y'all are going to see in that video how good it is. But we discussed and we realized it's going to be a multiple part series, but this was the start of it. the Big Mom Pirates versus the Beast Pirates, basically determining the best Yonko crew. This is part 1. Part 2, we'll talk Whitebeard's crew, amongst others. But we're here today to review chapter, what chapter is this? 1072. Chapter 1072, The Weight of Memory. Y'all know how we do this. I give a brief summary, and then we go directly into it. We start off the chapter cover page seeing the 3 mad scientists making their stuff. Looks like Caesar's working on smiles. Fucking Queen's working on poisons, and Judge is messing with his spear. We then go into the chapter to see Vegapunk and Bonnie talking. Bonnie's getting pissed. Vegapunk gets turned into a kid, and then Vegapunk starts to tell her, like, look, you don't know what Kuma's really doing. Like, trust me, Bonnie, he wanted to do this. And then she opens the door and sees all his memories stored into this Kuma ball thing. And she looks like she might touch it to get the memories. We'll dive into that because that's really important. We then cut over back to the Seraphims and CP0. They're battling, and obviously Zoro's battling Kaku. Zoro beats Kaku pretty easily. Like, he's handling up. Kaku's not doing too much. And Rob Lucci's like, destroy the lab. And basically the Seraphims get it done for the most part. But as they're doing that, we then see someone take out not only Kaku, but this person's getting ready to take out Rob Lucci, and that is none other than Stussy. And it says Stussy, clone of Miss Buckingham. Stussy, Rock Pirates. Mad's clone experiment successful. Subject number 1. So a couple weeks ago, if y'all remember, I said, is Stussy sus? Turns out Stussy was sus. So where do we want to begin? Do we want to start with the Kuma stuff, or do we want to start with the clone stuff?
I have to make a correction immediately. An objection. If you want, you can replace me with Phoenix right now. Kaku was not beaten by Zoro yet. Stussy came in and gave him the suck. So Zoro's a fraud.
He got back up. Kaku got back up, to be honest.
Zoro has yet to beat an Awakened Zone user. I just wanted for the record.
That's crazy, actually.
Well, he struck Kaku, and Kaku wasn't. Kaku basically didn't do him nothing. Like, so,
no,
but
all these assists for Zoro, man. I thought he was supposed to be the strongest.
Y'all crazy, bro. Y'all wow.
I'm just glad once again a woman was there to save him and elevate him. Just like Zoro.
Let's start off with the cool. Well, actually, let's go to the cover page. Did y'all like it? I'm just like, Judge, you're working on a spear. God, what a bad scientist.
of the 3, his is most underwhelming.
Yeah, he's just like,
it's the most meathead.
One of them has bioweapons, the other one has a devil fruit, and he's like, guys, I made a spear.
Like a hydraulic spear. Like, what the fuck is?
But I will not lie. That devil fruit Caesar's holding, I'm not sure if that's like a prototype smile, but it
gotta be.
But it doesn't look like the smiles, because this looks like an actual devil fruit. Like,
yeah.
Do you think that's the prototype of Momo's fruit?
Yeah, that could be him trying to, rip off, basically,
rip off Vegapunk.
Yeah, it's the Gucci with the 3 C's. I'm just gonna.
Also, can we talk? Okay, so I'm very confused. Oda gave Caesar the ribbon. I just have to assume that's his gas, right?
Yeah,
that's just his gas, right? Okay.
I was just saying he's chameleoning it. Like,
okay,
he's faking it because he has gas, so he can fake
the ribbon. The ribbons are gonna torture.
Oh, you gotta stop that. Also, it's rounded. You gotta notice the ribbons that everybody else wears is spiky. His is rounded it kind of symbolizes gas. Like, I'm looking at it right now of Kaku's black clouds, and like look at, like, just real quick, I'll put it in the video, but like those are spiky compared to
like
Caesar's
flame, kind
of. Compared to Caesar's, like, hold on.
Yeah,
rounded ass gas.
I will also say, this panel, they look a lot more like what they do than the last one, which I'm not opposing. Like, I thought they looked fine.
Yeah, Judge looks way better in this one. Yeah, way better.
And Queen looks a lot more like Queen too. Like, granted, I thought Queen looked good, but I'm just saying, when they're doing their villain shit, instead of like posing for a poster or whatever, they look a lot more like their freak selves.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Caesar looks more at the retcon age that he's supposed to be now, because if the way that the original timeline stood up, if Caesar actually was hanging out with Vegapunk when he's supposed to be, he would have been like 10.
Good thing.
They retconned him and aged him up to where he's basically the same as Judge now. I think he's still probably like the youngest of the crew, since he hung around with Vegapunk the longest, it feels like.
He does look the youngest out of the 3.
Yeah, he's like a peer though, instead of like, like
the child.
He's no longer the Kaido of Mats.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with Kuma. I think this is so interesting. The fact that Kuma's powers is essentially like he can take out things of people. Like he can take out memories, he can take out pain, he can take out imagination, like he can turn intangible things into people into things. Does that mean he can take out someone's soul, you think? Or does that go into Big Mom territory?
I mean, yeah, but there's a lot of overlap. Like Brooke also kind of hacks Big Mom a little bit, not a ton, because they both happen to souls. I wonder, like, if, and also keep in mind, Perona has the depression thing with her hollows. So is it possible that, like, I don't know, can Kuma be like the devil fruit power that overcomes Haki by slapping your willpower out of you? Because
that's a good point.
Like, I don't know, man. Like the conceptual aspect of
I don't think Oda would do it, but that's a great point.
I don't think we're ever gonna. I don't think we're ever gonna see that.
Because if that's the case, like that fruit is broken. That's top 5.
That's one of the best fruits. Also, I want to ask y'all. So, Vegapunk in his flashback with Kuma, he goes, "That's right. A scholar in the West Blue once said that people lost 21 grams of weight after they die. Is that Hogback?"
Yeah, it's Hogback.
Yeah, nice. Okay, good callback.
Yeah. At first I was like, Hogback. Because we haven't seen him post time skip yet.
Nope, we've seen Absalom and we've seen Moria. No Hogback. And Perona.
Yeah, well, in the way that we've seen a dead
Absalom. Yeah, he was dead. So we don't know if Hogback's alive or not.
Yeah. By the way, why Oda said to make Kuma so handsome at the bottom of the fucking page?
Hey, look,
my man's got hella chin and he's got his weird little bear ears that
I love it.
That we know is now just part of the fruit, I guess, along with the paw pads.
Hey, in his hair, like, come on, Kuma, you're killing it with the drip, my boy.
But you know what's crazy? He said Kuma was a part of a special race. He just looks Samoan, to be honest.
Yeah. He's just like, a guy.
You think Kuma's like a half bear man? Like, is that why he has the ears? Like, is that the race?
I
like
see half... Pawpaw.
Okay.
Pawpaw gave him the paw pads too.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sure enough. Yeah. I wonder what race he is.
Man, it's possible he had his wings burned off and he is also a Seraphim, but we're not going to know until Oda just says it, because Oda, he's been making new races the last couple
of I'm sure we're going to find out in the next one, because right now it's rumored for the spoilers that, like, if this is true, which I doubt, but it's rumored right now that we're going to get Kuma's backstory, which would be dope, but I just don't trust the person who put out the spoilers, because apparently
last couple of spoilers have been
I haven't been missed.
I haven't
Sanji breaking his leg.
Fucking never since that.
Garp getting murdered. Garp didn't even show up.
They've been trying to take advantage for what they want. But the fact is that Bonnie sees this memories. Do we think she's gonna walk in it and, like, what she can find could be monumental? Like, why did Dragon start the revs? Why does Kuma hate the government? We can get so much background and lore from this. And if Luffy sees it, he could find out about nothing happened as well, which is crazy.
If Kuma was in his right mind at the time, because I will say this one thing that I kind of looked at, and I'm sure other people mention it too, but Kuma is mirroring a certain giant dead robot that is at the bottom of Egghead, as in scaling the red line and trying to take on Mary Jo up. Which, by the way, I don't know why I didn't bring it up. The fucking robot could be who Vegapunk called. Because I will also point out, I'll point this out now while we have a second, while we're talking about this invasion thing. That's not Stussy he called.
No, for sure. I agree.
Because the way that the translation, like, granted, you can kind of play around the translation, but it definitely makes it sound like it was somebody who has been hanging around on the island for a while.
Somebody that's just there for him, like someone that he calls, like, this is a planned situation. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this person was in the Revolutionary Army, put there by Dragon for this moment. Hey, or Vegapunk himself put this person here for this moment, because he's smart enough to do that.
I still maintain it may be, if not Kuma in some way, shape, or form, it might be like a Seraphim that isn't king.
A clone.
That's where they got the Seraphim juice from.
Could be a Kuma clone, could be a Lunarian clone. Now that this door has opened, which we will
get to, God damn
it, it could be anything. So, but
the Clone Wars have begun.
I think the most interesting thing of this chapter, more so than the clones, has to be Kuma's memories, just for the fact of how much it could unlock for us.
Yeah, and I will say this chapter and the last couple chapters, I've said it on these reviews, I think I've gotten kind of a little bit tired of the cat and mouse game of Bonnie chasing after Vegapunk, but this, I like it.
It led somewhere,
and I like Bonnie actually. Like, she's a supernova.
I don't dislike her.
She's cool. A supernova I didn't think we would get much from, and I'm like that she has this arc. I like the reveal that her powers can give her a little bit more. She can tap into like
she can go to
potential and timeline. Yeah, dude,
that's crazy.
Like, and I feel like we almost needed the Vegapunk theory on Devil Fruits before we got this power first, because you want to talk about human potential or whatever. She can access damn near any like timeline where it's like, in this future, I got buffed as shit, or in this future, my hockey was off the charts, or like whatever,
No,
like,
for sure.
It gives her more of something, because I know like another review we had, like I think the last 2 or 3, we questioned like, was a big part of the reason why her bounty was the way that it was because of her connection to Kuma, and basically like, is it like elevated more than it should be? And I pointed out, well, LaRouche hasn't done much, so is he elevated just for being a Skypian? If she can fight like this, and if she has been causing trouble, like in general, I get where the bounty is. Like, I get why she deserves to be supernova now.
And especially if she can like transfer it to like inanimate objects. That's probably how she was able to get through like the Mary Joa so easily.
I still think some of it's tied to Kuma, just for the fact
obviously,
that we don't know. And I gotta give a Rouge credit, because that man beat Snack like
well, Snack. it's like how Kid got a buff whenever we first started for being cruel and brutal. Like, everyone obviously gets a sliding scale based on
Luffy the D, Trafalgar Law of the D, like they get extras just because they have the D in their name.
It's like an extra 20k or something. It's not gonna make or break you, but it does buff you.
Jazz, anything, your thoughts on the beginning parts of this chapter?
I think it will be interesting to get a lot of Kuma's memories, because he's like, okay, so he's like been a mystery a little bit since like he first was introduced, and I feel like the only like crumbs we got of him until this arc was that like he was a revolutionary and that he was a tyrant. So like we might see like why they labeled him as a tyrant. And like, I mean, I don't really think he was.
Could also be capped.
Yeah.
I think it is, but like, I think we will find out.
I will say, I think it's more interesting if it isn't. Like, I would like to see him go through like a redemption arc, but it could also be overblown. I don't know. Kuma is like the fucking Forrest Gump of One Piece, which from the jump I didn't think he'd be there, but he seems to keep popping up almost like Panda Man and his bear brethren. But I mean, with his fruit, he really can be wherever the fuck he wants. And wait a minute, that you can't just murder him outright either. So
wait, also with his powers, like, this is such a side note, but like, I don't think Vegapunk was the one that put his different like aspects of him into himself, like into other bodies. I think it was Kuma.
I think he might have did that. Like, I think Vegapunk might have made the body, and then Kuma's power
Kuma like helped him
put that in there. And honestly, that might be how Vegapunk learned how to do for his transference, was through Kuma.
Yeah,
exactly.
I say, you think like Kuma might be like had a scene where it's like, my love, my anger, and all of my sorrow. And then he showed his own. Like,
or he gathers them up like Captain Planet, literally heart, soul, brain, and they all get together. We make Kuma.
Yeah, we're gonna have a Kuma bottle episode where it's like the Raven episode of Teen Titans, and we're gonna have Kuma, White Kuma.
I gotta fuck with that.
I'm excited for whatever we do with Kuma.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so to kind of connect the Kuma thing to the clone thing, because that's the main part. I mean, Zoro slander.
Yeah, I don't care about what's going on with the Straw Hats fighting these Seraphim, because nothing's happening. Like, they're just all talking, looking at each other.
I will say Kaku's awakened form looks really cool. It looks cooler than Rob Lucci's.
Yeah, I like it.
It does. Like it definitely does. Like, I like how he has the flames going all down his back as his mane or whatever. I really rock with it.
I do got to point something out. I just need you guys to pay respects because it took Luffy several years to awaken his soul fruit. It took Kaku too. So I just want to point
Hey,
out.
goat status,
Hey.
my boy.
Hey, look,
Like,
he loved giraffes from the beginning. It was
Yeah,
bound to happen. It was
he was
bound to
hyped
happen.
about it.
you know, people on TikTok are doing that thing where it's like, oh yeah, he's compatible with his fruit, and showing a picture of him saying, "I love giraffes."
Yeah, but he never, ever fucking said it before he got it. Like, like
hey,
you.
that's his thing. He didn't have to tell us that. Like, as he's flying through the clouds, he's in fucking Water 7. He's just thinking, man, I wish I was a giraffe. I wouldn't have to fly.
Yeah, but Lynn, all right, let's say you get a devil fruit and you become like a fucking like a bear or silverback gorilla or whatever. Don't you suddenly become like a stand for bears or something? Like,
Well,
you kind of
see,
have to,
funny
right?
you
Like,
say
you're
that.
cursed with it.
You got
right?
to, but I was a bear stand before. Like, I would unlock my bear powers instantly because bears are some of my favorite animals. But if I got a bird, I would never unlock that. I'm terrified of birds. I would be the anti-awaken.
You know they got hollow bones, right?
Nah, bro, I don't fuck with
Like-
birds. When I was a kid, when I was like 6 years old, 5 years old, my mom took me to the zoo. And basically, she didn't want to see the snakes, and some snakes got out. And I was like, "Come on, mom, let's go see the snakes." She's like, "Ah!" And I was messing with her. And so we're sitting down eating lunch. I have my McDonald's or whatever fries at the Audubon Zoo in New Orleans. I'm pretty sure it was McDonald's at the time. I drop them. I'm trying to go pick them up so I'm not littering. And all of a sudden, a duck, a chicken, a peacock, actually 2 ducks, a chicken, a peacock, a swan, and an unknown bird that I still don't know to this day. It was pretty big. They all start pecking me, attacking me, and I'm bleeding. I'm getting attacked, and my mom had to come save me. It was terrifying, and I don't fuck with birds ever since.
Okay, so I need everyone to understand, if you subscribe to the BrosWhoThink network, we will get a stream going where Lynn will have to watch Attack of the Birds or whatever.
No, y'all gotta pay us to do that. They gotta pay us to do that.
Fine,
Like,
Patreon or
oh
something.
my god,
Like, come
yeah,
on,
that's
man.
a Patreon.
I'm trying to get you some money, all right?
No, I would die. Like, oh my gosh, a fucking live stream at the zoo making me go see birds. Oh God, I'd cry on camera. If y'all really want that, y'all gotta pay for that type of content.
All right.
Attack of the Bird. I'd piss my pants. The only birds I'm not scared of are pigeons because you can kick them, or like little birds that fly. But as for like chickens and up, bro, I can't be around them. They give me the fucking heebie-jeebies.
Anything that has vague talons, Lynn's not really.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. But yeah, so shout out to Zoro. He looked cool doing his stuff. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I rock
Sanji's
with it.
Gonna save him.
You know that's not about to happen. Brooke might save him though.
I need Brooke to get a little bit of something. My man needs some meat on those bones, especially after he had a pretty good anime episode.
He's just chilling, just looking at him. And then Rob Lucci, destroy the lab. Shut up. But what made me happy is when Rob Lucci turns around, what are you doing, Stussy? That's what you get for Galley Rob. Shout out to Paulie. You fucker. You fucked Paulie over. You fucked, what's his name? What's Frankie's
Iceberg.
guy's name? Iceberg over. That's what you get. Your face looks just like Paulie. Karma's a bitch. I love that moment.
The first thing I thought about was that Sky, like in the beginning of Skyrim, the dude looks over, he's like, first time, right? No, that's not.
Oh yeah, no. You talk about the meme. I know you talk about that's from the ballad. That's the ballad of Buster Scruggs, the Coen Brothers movie on Netflix.
It's like, yeah, first time, and it was Iceberg's face. That shit was killing
me. But Stussy being a clone, that opens up so much. Miss Bakin, I now 1000% believe that in that flashback that we saw the lady turned around, I do not think that was the Stussy clone. I actually think that was the real Miss Bakin. And I think what the real Miss Bakin worked on was cloning. And we've noticed that all of Vegapunk's people work on something that they fail at, that he succeeds. Caesar with devil fruits, the Judge with lineage factor, fucking Queen with these poisons, Miss Bakin with clones. I think that Weevil is the failed Seraphim clone idea, and I think that Vegapunk perfected it with cloning her.
Yeah,
definitely.
Speaking of the Kaku and Lucci betraying the people Water 7, by the way, a friend of mine, they've been watching it back. They just got to Water 7 and they just got the CP0, the CP9 reveal. Although they kind of just from being on the internet and being so old, they kind of got to figure out who some of them were. They didn't know Kaku was a betrayer though, and it actually kind of broke the right. They were like, "Not Kaku too. We like Smurfs."
No, Kaku actually surprised me because I was like,
yeah,
okay,
no, I'm not gonna lie.
Lucci looked suspect, but Kaku,
that was the one that I didn't want to turn on him. I fucked with Kaku. But how do y'all feel about that? Do y'all think Weevil's a clone?
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, to be honest, 100%. Because
there's no way that
even though Miss Bakin in Stussy form, ooh, baddie.
No, I agree. But I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if Whitebeard. I think that man might have accidentally got hit in the nose one too many times while he's fighting. Because like all he wants is a family, but he never actually has a kid that he claims. So like
at least Shanks is going out here slanging it to Makino and Roger with Rose. Like but Whitebeard had Miss Bakin right there and Big Mom fine ass. Like he was tripping.
Man, you don't want to bring up Shanks when it comes to fatherhood, all right? We all watch One Piece film Red.
Look, don't start
anyway.
Anyway. That movie's not canon.
Uta is.
Uta's canon, but that story might not be canon the way everything happened. You know it.
Right. But,
just like Shiki's canon, but that damn story not canon. And speaking of Shiki, Jazz, you can get in your theory that you have because it involves Miss Bakin and Shiki.
Okay, so like I was back and forth on this theory because I thought the guy that Vegapunk was talking to was Stussy, but then I was like, okay, no, he would have had to been on the island for a while. So look, this might be a stretch, right? But you remember the old lady who had Bon Clay's fruit in Wano, who basically told Kaido
to be on Rox's crew. Yep.
Right. So
yeah,
we see her turn into like two people, right? I mean, the two people that like come to mind to me. We see her turn into a woman with blonde hair, and then we see her turn into a man
that
with
looks like
blonde
Shiki.
hair that looks like Shiki. And that only makes me assume that we're getting these bits and pieces because either we're about to see Shiki or we are about to see a somewhat half clone of Shiki, because I'm thinking, and it's
or backstory involving Shiki, one of the three,
right? Because when they talk about the guy who they talk to, when the Vegapunks talk to, you'll be wanted from the government, and if Vegapunk was like cool with Rocks or something, like they had like a mutual agreement, like Vegapunk would supply them with weapons, yada 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 yada, and then Rocks would give them money, whatever. Who's to say that like Shiki isn't just hanging out
chilling
on the
with
island?
him? No, that's fair. Like,
and then he might double cross him. If we being honest,
if Shiki's the dude on that phone, I would freak out. I'd be like, "Damn, Jazz, good call." But either way, I think to your point, I think we're gonna find something with Shiki related will happen over the next 50 chapters.
Because the big part of it is like they'll be wanted by the world government, and it's like, okay, like who on this like there's a lot of people on this island already wanted by the world government because they're coming to this island.
Who could make you more wanted? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Rather than like an old gen pirate.
But I would point out, what use besides extra muscle, of which Vegapunk made Seraphim, would he want for Shiki to be on his island? Like, because Shiki's power can destroy Egghead.
Maybe the float. Much... Maybe he wants that. Who knows?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe a quick getaway. It's a stretch. It's a stretch for sure.
I'm not against it.
But I
do think to your point. I do think to your point, the fact that he showed us both those faces in Wano, and one of them has already come up
as a pirate member.
The other one will come up soon, whether or not it's a backstory, whether or not it's your theory. It's coming up as we learn more about the Rocks Pirates. But dang, Miss Bakin, who knew Rocks had scientists? This makes Rocks so much more interesting. And now I am forced to believe that I cannot believe Sengoku, that he was just this evil fucker. I think he was just this mastermind now.
Yeah, Rocks was gooning, but he also wanted to literally take over the world. You know.
But is that government propaganda?
No, but I think he's.
You think he did? Okay,
bastard. But my point is, unlike some people who we've seen, like Kaido wants to take over the world, but mostly he just wants to like burn whatever the fuck he can, and whoever's strong gets to rise up, and then he just wants to fight forever in a fucking hell world. You know. And
We
then
don't know how Blackbeard wants to take over the world, but he's in that same vein, to your point.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, like, but my point is, like, it seems like Rox want to take over the world, but he wanted to like topple the world government, and also like it seems like he didn't want to just burn the whole thing apart. He wanted to actually like have something in place that he could rule over, you know? Like he made Hachinosu what it is, a pirate's paradise, you know?
And he had people who could help with those causes. Like, look at Big Mom's fruit, soul stuff, can bring things to life, can like give you things. Miss Bakin, a scientist, someone who can build things for you. If we're to believe Shiki, someone who can lift islands and move them to fix them how you want. Like, same thing with Kaido. But even though Kaido didn't have the dragon fruit at that point, Kaido's just someone that's just there. Right, Whitebeard, someone strong as hell to fight for you. Like, he's having these people strategically for whatever he's building, and it just makes me more excited for Rox.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's going to go similar to a Blackbeard route. I don't want them to necessarily be 1v1, but like Blackbeard's a dark mirror to Luffy. Rox has to be a dark mirror to Roger and Luffy as well, obviously. So, you know, Roger wanted to be the freest man in the world. And interestingly enough, we don't see it being the other way around with Rox. I think just like Blackbeard, instead of being like an exact mirror where, you know, Luffy's like, I believe in dreams, and Blackbeard's over being like, dreams are stupid and whatever, and legends don't exist, and science and whatever the fuck. No, like he believes in it too. He's the complete
opposite. Yeah,
he's just also a bastard about it. You know, like it's not that he doesn't believe in the power of dreams or the whimsy of the world. It's that he sees it, instead of remarking upon it like a beautiful thing for everyone to share or whatever, he just like wants to take it, you know, and like harness it.
True.
You know,
it's gonna be interesting, man. Super interesting. Do you have any thoughts on Stussy Versen?
I will say this. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty 50-50 on it. I'm definitely leaning more of her being a succubus type, which if she's an actual like succubus model, like demon, if we're actually
you talking about her demon, powers? Oh, do we think she's a vampire? Holy shit. I didn't even look at that.
I lean more on succubus than vampire.
Gotcha.
Also, as I pointed out, and as everyone's pointed out by now, the first time we really get a chance to sit down with her, she's sipping on a giraffe anyway, thanks to Smoothie back at Big Mom's. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, so she got a taste for giraffes way back when. So
damn,
you know, it's nice that that's a fucking callback.
Damn, that's crazy. And yeah, she probably wasn't drinking tea. She was probably drinking giraffe blood. Damn.
Yeah. Well, I think it might be like an essence thing. Like
for sure.
And also she's queen of the pleasure quarter, you know, and blah blah whatever. You know, but I'd be happy with
the whores.
Like well, that yes.
Jesus, she's queen of the suckers. She's exactly.
Unfortunately, she has beat Smoothie in the suck off.
Yeah, damn, she's a sucker. Damn.
Speaking of Big Mom,
more so than Green Bull and more so than Smoothie, because they deep throat. They Jazz.
I don't know if this is a One Piece discussion anymore.
All right.
I said that word. I said that word on purpose to see y'all's faces.
I was
like, look, them vines long.
As a kind who's constantly have to burn the vines away from him because you're gonna look too friendly. What are you doing, new admiral?
Why are you attaching your vines to me right now? Get these things away.
But anyway, do you guys think that Jory Bonnie is a Big Mom clone, or or some other like clone of a Big Mom child?
Okay, are we doing this? Are we guessing who's clone right now?
I hate. Listen, it's obligatory. We'll try and keep it to the gist of the chapter. But look, she'd be Eden.
She does.
She's hot. That's like young Big Mom.
Hey, that's better than any other clone idea I've heard. Because if I find out Zoro or Luffy are clones, I'm sick. Man, like
I'd be tight.
Luffy cannot be a clone, but you can convince me, since we don't know who Zoro's parents are, that he's a Shimasuki clone. Because if you remember when when we saw Dragon and he popped up on Shimasuki Village years ago, who's to say that Dragon didn't drop off the clone? Like that. Like, I'm just saying, if anyone's a clone out of the Straw Hats, It's got to be Zoro. It can't be anyone else.
But you gotta understand.
Sanji's already basically a clone, though.
No, for sure, and that's why I'm saying I don't want any of them to be it.
No, I know.
But I'm just saying if it's one, it's got to be the big Z-Man.
I think we already got our Matt's connection through Sanji.
True.
Like, unless you want to make them literally like almost
opposites.
No, like, damn near like together. It's like, that way they can talk shit and be like, "Hey, you freak clone of Ryuma," and he's like, "All right, whatever, cyborg asshole." Like, but that feels like too much.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I don't want it to be Zoro or Luffy or any of the Straw Hats.
Every single person in One Piece now will be suspect tested under the idea of we're literally gonna have to unrun this panel, the entire manga.
But I think you said the best one. I really do. I like that Bonnie one. That's the best one I've heard. Which is what to say, Jazz?
No, I was about to say, like, I mean, look, Oda didn't want to say that the Shimotsuki we saw in Wano in Yamato flashback was related to Zoro. So, I mean, if he a clone, that's Oda.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I said
it. Anyway,
I mean, I will point this out. If you want,
the Zoro fanboys will lose it. They will be so upset.
So, according to the anime, from what I saw, the Shimotsuki's purple headed, right? Well, we know that the one problem Vegapunk has is
colors.
Color.
It's green. Yep, Zoro's green instead of that bluish purple. Hey, look! I'm just saying. Lynn called it. If there's any straw hat that's a clone, it's got to be Zoro.
Both Stussies are blonde. He fixed it.
He did. True.
So
true,
fuck
true.
it. No.
True.
Oh my god! Imagine the Stussie. Imagine the Stussie one. Imagine the Stussy one was a success, and then he was just like, well, I probably should have fixed that green fucker I sent to Shimotsuki.
Oh, dude, that'd be so great if, like, because it's successful subject number 1, it's like failed subject number 0, Zoro for 0. His name's 0, but they put it instead of an E. Fuck, I'm believing it now. Fuck.
But yeah, when I first saw the clone, I was like, okay, this is a cool concept, but I genuinely hope they keep the clones to like the old pirates. You know what I'm saying? So like,
okay, I got you.
Like, I don't want to, like, me personally, I don't want to see any clones of like people we already know. Like, if I see clones of like people that have already passed or like people that like were lost to time and stuff like that, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
No
one current.
Yeah, no one.
Except the Bonnie one. I will say the Bonnie one works.
Unless, hey, look, to Versen's point earlier about Dragon being a Shimotsuki. Who's to say Tashigi ain't Kuina? She's just a failed clone.
Listen, I hear you, but what on God's green earth? Why would Vegapunk clone a dead 8-year-old or whatever? I get you, but why would he do that? It's
maybe that's what Dragon was dropping off. Maybe he was taken. Like maybe that Kuina, had some special things, and Dragon took Tashigi with him.
She's an Uchiha. I get it. She's got the Sharingan.
That's why they put it over her eyes, bro.
Damn. They really stole her special eyes.
Y'all,
now Zoro got the eye of his best friend.
Y'all nuts. We're done. Y'all doing too much.
I don't know, man. After everybody was freaking about Mihawk eyes, I think it's warranted.
Anything else y'all got on this chapter? I'm pretty much. I touched on everything I had.
I got a thing, but
go
I'll let
ahead.
Jazz go because I feel like I've been opening my mouth up a lot.
Jazz, you got anything?
No, you good. I like I will say I like the part of this chapter I really like the most is how like the beginning kind of relates to the end. How like this is like a big step for like world peace, and that was basically like Vegapunk's journal being like related to the end of the chapter, and I like that. I hope we get more chapters like that, to be honest, because I like to see like this insight into what Vegapunk writes down, because he's a very perfectionist type of guy. So I know like this specific moment was a very huge moment for him. So I hope we get more of those going forward.
Chooses his words very carefully for sure. Yeah. All right, Versen, what you got? Final thoughts?
Well, I will say I agree, and I am looking at more Akuma stuff, and I do think as it goes on, it has been shown, whatever you can say about maybe what his technology has been used for, Vegapunk himself is a genuinely good person who, for some reason, is a terrible fucking judge of character.
That's what it is. Like,
God,
and see, I don't even know if it could be a terrible judge. I think it's whoever gives him that Fetty for the science,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
think
he rolling with.
I think the start it was very much like that, and now he's like, well, I'm old.
I'm trying to fix my ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he was younger, it was like, I got to get whatever. It doesn't matter who helps me. I'm getting my
Yeah.
science off. But as he's gotten older, to your point, it's
wasn't
like,
that like kind
I
of the
might have been
same
doing too
thing
much.
that isn't that kind of the same thing that Albert Einstein went through after he like created all the like basically the basis for nuclear weapons? Like
Yeah.
he was doing it, but then like afterwards he was like, oh shit, what have I done?
He was a
You know what I'm saying?
he was a pretty big opponent about disarmament. As were a lot of people who worked on the Manhattan Project.
Who worked on it, yeah.
Yeah, which allegedly I have a relative who did that. But also I think that's just a mythology that most people have. So I don't know if it's true or not.
You might see your relative in the new Christopher Nolan movie, which he got Universal to give him as much TNT as possible so he could really do an explosion that looks like a nuclear. But that shit is crazy. Like they gave him. No, he didn't want to. They begged him to CGI. He was like, no. He got like, I want to say like 20 things of TNT or like 20 to 50, like something to make a huge explosion, and he did it. Like that shit is crazy.
I will say for that stuff aside, the actual thing I want to bring up, we're seeing constantly, especially more and more, whole cake comes to mind. Memories obviously play an important part. I'm not making a groundbreaking discovery. Turns out memories and inherited will and people living on and all that shit is important in One Piece. We all know this. But we're seeing more and more interactions directly with the concept of memories and also a spirit. Like literally pudding can take your memories away, even if it's really important to you. Like Sanji got his memories taken or whatever. A lot of the stuff revolving around the ancient past or whatever. I don't know, man. And there's a very select bridge of people who can give us the direct 411. Toki is one of them, but I believe she's dead. I do. I believe, I feel like if she wasn't, she would have popped up at the end of the Wano thing and be like, hey, Momo, I'm
done. No, she's done.
Or something.
Yeah.
The other one is Im-sama. So I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get a direct look into like the Void Century because I think that's what Robin's literally here for. I think Robin is gonna see some text and then she's gonna like hieroglyph it up and then we'll get the flashback as she describes it. I don't think we're gonna ever see directly into someone's brain. But I do think it's important to bring up like the memory thing and all that. And also on that matter with the ancient stuff, I don't think, and I would hate if we got any sort of like clone or anything from somebody literally 800 years ago. Like, I don't believe Luffy is a clone of Nika. That shit's fucking gross anyway and lame and kind of flies in the entire face of One Piece. There isn't an Ace clone running around. We already have one. His name's Sabo. Gold Roger, Luffy is not a Gold Roger clone because he had one. It was his baby named Ace. Like, I feel like people need to understand.
This man been on the internet seeing people talk about clones and getting his takes off.
Well, the thing is, from a narrative standpoint, for the most part, if you have someone who has a kid or something, that almost instantly gets them out of the clone conversation because everything the author wants to do with that character can be done through their kid, and you can have a nice contrast. Whereas a clone is fucking lame.
Yeah, like Ace.
Miss Bakin works because we don't know nothing about Miss Bakin and we don't really give a fuck about Miss Bakin,
Yep.
Weevil kind of works if he's a failed clone that Miss Baki went into the night and like stole some of his blood or whatever,
or his mustache, because that's the only thing that came out correct. Stole a piece of his mustache. I'd rock with that like hair. But no, I get what you're saying. No, for sure. And I do think Void Century stuff is going to be left up to Robin. When the memory stuff with Kuma, when I was saying, is basically more so about the Celestial Dragons now, or the Celestial Dragons with Dragon himself, and like not the past, more so what they did recently to make him want to do the war stuff. So I think we will get that for sure. Through this Kuma stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to slander or anything about that. I just
I know.
Yeah, that people have just been going crazy, like the last couple of days with everything. So I do think it'll mostly be Kuma stuff, which I think will be important on its own. Some revolutionary stuff, basically anything you could want that isn't Void Century. I think we're probably going to get through Kuma because he's, like I said, he's a central figure. He's Forrest Gump sitting on a bench. And my only thing is, I just want to know where the real Kuma is, because now that I see him scaling the red line, and the fact that he's not using his Devil Fruit as good as he could be because if you want to fuck up the red line, like, he could be fucking it up. he's mostly looks like he's running on autopilot. You know, like I said, kind of like if the big giant machine that's underneath Egghead is in his body now, actually, like the programming rather than an actual person. You know,
Possible, and the real one's probably just dead. Like that. That's where I'm at with it. Or just sacrifice himself to where he's the memories inside.
I was gonna say,
like,
do you think the
bubble.
memories would stick around if he was dead though?
See, I think his soul might be more so in the memories to where, like,
also,
I think the person Kuma himself, like, I don't think we're gonna see like that the person that was in that flashback.
Oh, actually, I just thought of this, and I know we're kind of running on time, but I just thought of this, and this is important. If it's true that Kuma is dead or out of his body or whatever, what the fuck is the deal with the devil fruit in his corpse then? Because we already saw corpse shit happen with Moria, and like your shadow is also a part of it, which is also like a soul, and that can be put onto a zombie.
Recreation.
And they'll at least pretend to have your body like Ors did. He didn't get the gum powers, but Luffy's spirit wanted to use them because it was so important to him. I'm just saying,
possible
if Kuma
devil fruit's recreated.
If Kuma, I mean, yeah, and also it's, let's keep it for real. Like, it's actually not that hard to get a hold of a devil fruit. Like, if you just kill the guy and you have an apple in your pocket, you're probably fine.
Yeah,
like, you have it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm sure if Kuma wanted to get suicided, you know, Vegabond would be like, all right, cool. You love oranges.
But
right?
he's probably, to your point, he's probably not dead in the sense of him, but I just think the person himself, like as we know it, is separated into so many different parts that we're not.
He's a different dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
For
They're
sure.
two separate entities. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm eager. I hope Bonnie. I just want Bonnie to be happy. Honestly, like
she won't be.
No.
Nah.
She'll get closure though, seeing those memories. But
where do you think she's
pretty.
Going after, where do you think she's going after this? Just in general. What do you got? Like, also keep in mind, everyone, Kizaru's on the way. Kizaru is still inbound.
That's what I'm ready to see. I don't know. I can't tell you. I have no idea because I don't know. We don't know enough about Bonnie. I think after this next chapter where we learn about Kuma's backstory, that can give us an idea of where she's going. I think wherever she goes is going to be Kuma related, though.
You think she goes back to Sorbet?
Possible. It just we don't know anything about it. Like that's the thing. That's like I can't speculate on it when we don't know like where she like her ties.
Oh wait, yeah. Sorbet is world government affiliated.
Like, or at the very least, it's known enough to where there will be a CP something agent, be it 1 through 9 or 0, chilling. You know, like they do want her, and Blackbeard kind of wanted her, and she managed to slip out the way there. You know,
well, he could have had her, so he kind of gave her away. He gave her the kind of. He could have, if he wanted, he could have took it. So
yeah, but I don't know.
In terms of her, I think that's a TBD.
Yeah, I guess she's probably gonna have to take her on the Vegapunk. I guess
possible
wherever the fuck he ends up to, which I assume we just assume it's Rez at this point.
Our straw is getting a little full, huh?
That's what I'm saying. She's not about to stay with them. She got a deal. But all right, Jazz, tell the people they can follow you on social media.
You can follow me on Twitter at Real Jazzy Boy. You can follow me on Instagram, Jazzy Boy. You can follow me on TikTok, CornelltheGod.
Y'all make sure y'all go follow Jazz. Versen, what can they follow you at, brother?
So on Twitter you can follow me at Versen the Vassal. Anywhere else, just look for my actual name, Joshua Troskler. I have a podcast episode coming out soon with some guys I did over with the Louisiana Anthology podcast, which I also shout out BrosWhoThink while I was on that. Different venue, but still appreciated. And also I just want to say personally, I have a thing for work coming. It's gonna get killed by the green screen.
It's getting green screen.
Oh well, I will show that off in a link or something.
Yeah, anyway, put that on Twitter.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, but for the record, Housing Louisiana, which is one of the jobs that I work for, the other one being Go South through New Deal. We are trying to put together a 2023 listening tour. We're stopping at Lafayette on February 1st. It's a Wednesday. It'll be at 6 p.m. It will be catered. We're probably going to get Stevens to do up a couple plate lunches or dinners. And then it's going to be at 124 South Buchanan Street. It's like on the north side, not too far from Stevens.
It's kind of about
at the new community center kind of deal that they're trying to get done downtown. Anyway, but the point is, for anybody who's interested in anything related to housing, or if your community, and that includes the entire greater Lafayette area, people from Opelousas, shout out to Jazz, can come too. Like anybody who has anything that we need to prioritize through the new year, Come through, let us know your problems, and then we will spend our time, effort, and money to hound your politicians and your city folk to, to be like, hey, this property's been blighted for like the last 6 years. Someone come knock it down. Or, hey, why is the rent so damn high? Why eggs so damn high? My boy Jazz has to sell himself for eggs.
That's a shame.
Like, come on, come through, come yell at people, like yell at me about my One Piece talks, whatever, just come through.
Side through. Hell yeah. Y'all go support Versen. He'll put the links and stuff on his Twitter. You can follow me at LinBWT, follow BrosWhoThink at BrosWhoThink. Be sure to check out our One Piece Beast Pirates versus Big Mom Pirates. We'll also have a Black Clover review up. But other than that, there's a bunch of content. You can check it out on Twitter, like I said. But until then, y'all have a good one and peace.